Well, good morning, folks. Welcome to the QT Bible Study with Steve Levitt. I'm Steve Levitt. This is the live Quiet Time Bible Study we do right here every morning on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Big Joe winner chicken dinner on TikTok. Good job, first one up. I'm good, Joe. Thanks for asking. Nancy Lou, first one on Instagram. Good to see you this morning. We're still waiting on YouTube and Facebook. Beth Costin, winner chicken dinner. Beth Costin. Beth's probably watching from her kayak at the Gulf Coast fishing this morning. Jennifer, number 2, Deanna, good to see you. Hi, James, winner chicken dinner on YouTube this morning. Good to see you. Kimberly, Tim, Courtney, Johnny, good to see you guys. And the whole TikTok crew shows up. Good to see TikTok this morning. Hey, Grumps. Good to see you this morning. Hi, Renee, Courtney. As Rush Limbaugh used to say, today I'm working on having half my brain tied behind my back. Buenos dias, Hindle. Good to see you. So my kids were all here yesterday just because, all except for Madison, my daughter Madison. She's in North Texas. Although she's moving down here, hopefully in this month, Madison will be back down here, and I'll have all 4 kids back in South Texas with me. But anyway, Dane, his wife Rachel, Blake, his wife Sierra, and Malia even came out yesterday. We're all here yesterday, and they stayed the night. Malia went back home, but my 2 boys and their wives stayed the night last night. And I am such a homebody, and I go to bed early, and I have a routine, and I don't break my routine. I pretty much do it the same way over and over again. Well, not when my boys are in town. Anyway, they kept me up last night till midnight. We were up playing games, all of us laughing. Just had a great time up playing games till midnight last night. So I'm such a creature of habit, and anyway, my routine was broken. So I'm a little bit cloudy in the brain this morning, but we'll see what God does anyway. We're in the Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 10. Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 10. If you want to turn in your Bibles this morning, good Sunday morning to you, by the way. Beautiful Sunday morning. Yeah, making memory trumps routine. Yeah, we did make memories. My 2 boys, I had a really sweet moment yesterday. My 2 boys jumped on the Kubota, the UTV, 4-wheel drive UTV, jumped on the Kubota yesterday, and there was an AR sticking out this side and my Mini 14 sticking out this side. As they head to the back of the property, they just drove off in the Kubota, just my 2 boys. They grabbed their pew-pews and headed back to the back of the property with each of them had a pistol on their hip, but headed back there to go look for pigs and, shoot stumps. That's what, just whatever. They went to the shooting range, and did some stuff. And as they drove off, I just looked, my two grown boys, both married, having good careers, and their life is going great. I kind of sat back and went, all right, you did it. We did it. You did it. God did it. It's kind of, there was a real satisfaction. In the animal kingdom, it's, you have some babies and you raise them up, and your job's kind of done, right? Your job feels like it's kind of done. Now, this will be my coasting job, right? Ministry is my coasting job, and I'll just do this till I die. I'm going to do this until God takes me home. But that intense purpose in life of raising up those kids, and Madison just graduated, got her degree, and she's fixing to spring off into life. There's a real satisfaction in this season of life where I can rest. I don't need to make any more money. I'm not trying to acquire more wealth or more property or more fame. I'm not trying to get any better. I don't want to advance in some area of life other than my relationship with the Lord. And there's a real comfort in this season of life where I'm done now. God, I'm here. I'm yours. Just use me. Whatever that looks like. I'm good. I am good on cruise control right here. It was sweet. It was a nice moment yesterday. Hey, Pastor Anthony, good to see you this morning. A bunch of you know what I'm talking about. You've been there. Well, we looked at yesterday. Well, 2 days ago, we looked at the Shulamite, Solomon and the Shulamite, this godly man, leader of the world, king of the world, and his wife Shulamite. They dated, romanced, got engaged, went on a date, got married, had the honeymoon. We got to see their intimacy, their sex life. And then right after that, yesterday, we saw that they had a fight in the Bible. And we looked at what does a fight look like, how to fight clean, how to do a disagreement. Today, we get to look at the thing I do the most, the thing that I absolutely do the most, which is how to restore your marriage. It's the question I get on here all the time. You saw it yesterday. We see it all the time. Whenever we talk about marriage, what always comes up is, well, what about when my spouse doesn't do this? Or what if my spouse doesn't do that? Or whatever. My job I'm a pastoral biblical counselor, and I do mostly marriage counseling, anxiety, and OCD counseling. But marriage counseling, I call myself, or people call me, a marriage counselor. That's what I do. I do marriage intensives, all the marriage talks around the country, things like that. The real work that a marriage counselor does, even a pastor in ministry, the real work ends up being restoring marriages. I don't do a lot of, oh, we're doing great, we just like you and want to come to counseling with you. If somebody's in counseling with me, it's because something has broken in their marriage. I always start my session with, well, what are you here for? What do you want my help with? And the next response has to do with, well, we're broken. We don't like each other. Solomon and the Shulamite were broken. She rejected him. There was a fight, and we saw how they handled that fight, how to fight clean. But today we get to look at, how do you restore broken marriage? How do you get back to restoration, to where God wants you to be in your marriage. If your marriage is great or you're not married, fantastic, but you might know somebody. So take some notes. You might know somebody that you could maybe speak into their marriage to help them be restored. The last thing we saw yesterday was Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 9, where the daughters of Jerusalem said to the Shulamite, "What kind of beloved is your beloved, O most beautiful among women? What kind of beloved is your beloved that you adjure us?" Right? Now we pick up verse 10. She answers the question, what kind of man am I married to? What kind of man does God want him to be? How did God design my man? And this is her view of what a godly man should look like. Now, why is that important? Because we are in restoration. If you're mad at your spouse, if your spouse has hurt you for years and years and years, if there's been something your spouse has done that has crushed you and betrayed you, if I'm working with a couple and I've spent half the session trying to get them back going and moving forward and being back in a good place with each other, but they just won't do it. They're just right here, locking horns, da 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 da. I have this little trick, and I'll kind of stop the session. I'll just kind of stop the session. Hey, Mark, good morning. And I'll say to them, hey, where did you guys meet, by the way? And all of a sudden their affect, their body language stops. We met in high school, or we met at a party, or we met online. I don't know, whatever. And I'll say, well, what do you remember about that? What do you remember about those early days? Now, this is a trick because what I'm trying to do is get their brain out of, I hate you, into, oh, wait a minute, I used to love you. Wait a minute, I married you. And I'll say, why did you marry each other? And they begin to answer that question. And it totally takes their brain out of this combative mode into, why I love you. Why did I fall in love with you? What is it about that person that I loved, that I fell in love with, that and it makes them remember the goodness of that person. Yes, that person's done something hurtful, that person, we have years now of things that might have been hurtful, and I'm holding on to things, and I'm not going to forgive you. This puts you in primal forgiveness mode. I need them to forgive each other so that we can move forward. It's a biblical mandate that we're to forgive each other. I need them to be willing to forgive each other so that they can begin to move forward into restoration. And so the way I get them into forgiving mode is to get them to talk about what is lovely. Thank you. What is lovely about each other. Tommy's wife, Priscilla, thank you. Well, that's what's happening right here in Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 10. She's going back to remembering about him. And what does this say about him? And what does it say about me whenever I look at what a godly man is supposed to look like? Here it is. She says, verse 10, my beloved is dazzling and ruddy. He's good looking. He's ruddy. He's a man's man, and he's dazzling. He's outstanding among 10,000. His head is like gold, pure gold. His locks are a cluster of dates, and black as a raven. His eyes are like doves beside streams of water, bathed in milk and reposed in the setting. His cheeks are like a bed of balsam, banks of sweet-scented herbs. His lips are lilies dripping with liquid myrrh. His hands are rods of gold set in beryl. His abdomen is carved ivory, inlaid with sapphire. So with my children comes their dogs. Come here. Come here. You got to meet this little guy. Come here. Well, maybe they'll run out behind. Little 9-month-old, not 9 month. I don't know how old he is. There he is. Or her. June is her name. Hey, June. Oh, can y'all see June? Oh, June's going to the bathroom. That would be June. Little black lab. That's Blake and Sierra's dog. June, come here. Boy, she's full of it too, man. We'll see if she calms down. I'll pick her up and let you meet her here in a minute. And there's old Pete, by the way. His legs are pillars of alabaster, verse 15, set on pedestals of pure gold. His appearance is like Lebanon, choice as the cedars. She's gone through and talked about his appearance, but in everything she talks about, his appearance is a representation of some character trait, something about him. He's outstanding among 1,000 men. He rises above. He's a leader to men. Men look up to him, right? Verse 12, his eyes are like dove beside streams of the water, bathed in milk. In other words, they're soft. His heart is gentle. His heart is soft and gentle. His cheeks are a bed of balsam, banks of sweet-scented herbs. His lips are lily, dripping with liquid. Remember that he went down her body talking about her beauty as he moved down her body. That's what she's doing now about him. She's going back to the honeymoon. She's going back to the origins, right? Morning, Marty. What are you laughing at?
Your dog's laying on Peter's mat, and she is chewing on his bone.
This little puppy is chewing on Peter's bone, and he's letting her. They're both laying on the mat over there. That's funny. Going down, talking about his physical appearance, but she's giving clues as to how she feels about his character. Men, what would your wife say about your character, your integrity? Men, what would your husband say about your character, about your personality? His hands are rods of gold. He's strong. This is more than just physically strong. He's strong-willed. He's strong in his passion. He's strong in his character and his integrity. His legs are pillars of alabaster. In other words, this guy is set, unmovable, strong, faithful. His appearance is like Lebanon, choice as its cedars. Now watch this, verse 16, chapter 5, verse 16. She says, his mouth is full of sweetness. Now, yeah, he's stable. Now, his mouth is full of sweetness is more than just he's a good kisser, right? Or that he brushed his teeth. Out of the mouth comes sweetness. Out of the mouth comes, relationship over issue. Absolutely. Out of his mouth comes kindness. Men, can your wife say that about you? That out of your mouth comes sweetness? Or, ladies, can your husband say this about you? Or is it out of the mouth comes bitterness, criticalness, contention, nagging, complaining, whining? Part of the restoration is she's remembering what a great man of God that Solomon is. And he is wholly desirable. Wholly desirable. I desire him completely. Catch this. Can you see your spouse as wholly desirable? Do you think Solomon was perfect? Do you think Solomon was without blemish? No. Solomon was a sinner. Shulamite was a sinner. I'm a sinner. Marty is a sinner. We are all broken. There is no one on earth other than Jesus Christ ever on earth that is wholly desirable. There's always flaws. There's always failures. There's always going to be something that you can nitpick about your spouse. They're going to let you down. There's no 100% guarantee in marriage. There's no 100% guarantee that they're always going to be great. You're going to have to live with somebody who's broken and a sinner and who makes mistakes. They are not wholly desirable. But she chooses to see the big picture and to see them the way God sees them. Learn to view your spouse the way God views your spouse. If your spouse is a Christian, if Jesus Christ lives in your spouse, you have been completely restored and renewed. And God sees you as wholly beautiful, as completed and lovely. And she chooses to see the good in him and not point out the negative here. She sees him as wholly lovely, even though he's not. It's pretty important in marriage. This is my beloved. This is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. She tells him like it is. Oh, you want to know what's so great about him? Let me tell you why I love him. He's wholly desirable. There's my ducks this morning. Oh, can y'all see the horse? Horse right over here. Just out of the camera. The horse is right over here across the fence. Maybe he'll come over and show himself. The daughters of Jerusalem respond and say, where has your beloved gone? Remember they had a fight? He left myrrh on the honey. She still hadn't seen him since then. They haven't restored since then. They haven't been restored yet with each other. She's talking a lot. She's talking a good game. But they haven't been back together yet and said, hi, honey, I love you. I'm sorry. I forgive you. Let's move forward. Hadn't happened yet. So they say, you talk a big game, Shulamite. Well, let's just see how good he really is. Where has he gone? You rejected him. You told him you wouldn't have sex with him. You wouldn't let him into your room. You abandoned him. You didn't love him well. Yeah, well, where did he go? Did he go see the maiden in the next bedroom? Did he go to the bar? Did he just pack up and go to the deer blind for the deer lease for 2 weeks? Where did she go, men? Where's your wife go whenever you upset her? Did she go live with her mama for 2 weeks? Does she pack up and leave you alone? Where did he go? They said. Where has your beloved gone, O most beautiful among women? Where has your beloved turned, that we may seek him with you? Where is he? Or go to your sister's house? Yeah. Look at her answer. I think she didn't skip a beat. Hey, where's your husband? Without skipping a beat, she goes, I know exactly where he is. My beloved has gone down to his garden, to the beds of balsam, to pasture his flock in the gardens, and gather the lilies. I know exactly where he is. He's not off getting drunk with his buddies. He didn't grab his bass boat and head to the lake. He didn't go to the golf course. I know exactly where he is. He's pasturing his flocks in the garden, and he's gathering lilies. The strongest man in the world, the wisest man in the world, the richest man in the world at this time, and he's down gathering lilies. He's gentle. I can't reiterate this enough. The theme keeps coming back and forth, back and back and back. Solomon is gentle. She views him as gentle, gathering lilies, pasturing his flock in the gardens. And then the famous, maybe the most famous Song of Solomon verse. This is the verse that's actually inside my ring right here. 5:3. 6:3. Song of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 3. Marty and I have this in our rings. I have this on a plaque. We have this on a plaque over our bed. This is a huge banner in our bedroom. Chapter 6, verse 3. Shulamite says, thanks, Teddy Bear. Appreciate that. Song of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 3 says, I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. He who pastures his flocks among the lilies. We are one. We may have had a fight. He may have hurt my feelings. I may have hurt his feelings. But Solomon and I are one. I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. That is biblical marriage. One man, one woman, in a covenant with God, in the thing called marriage, where I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. This is your verse. This is it. I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. We are one. Even though we've had a fight, even though he left love on the handle and left me alone, he is still mine. I am still his. This is why we tell each other, I love you. This is why we need to tell each other, I love you. I haven't gone anywhere. I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. They are still committed to each other. You are still my girl. I'm still your guy. Here's a quick concept for you. Here's where couples blow it. It's supposed to be like this, one in marriage. You have a fight, you have a hurt, you have something that's been rough in your marriage, and you're like this. You're physically, locationally, mentally like this. We are separated to some degree because of this tension or this conflict or this issue in our marriage. What couples do is they end up embracing this as who we are. That's not who you are. This is who you are. You may have conflict or tension between the two of you right now, but you are still this, right? It would be like, here's a pin, right? It'd be like this. That is the issue. This is the issue that we're having. But this doesn't define us. We are still solid and married. That issue is there. It's not gone. It hasn't been restored yet. The issue is still there, but we haven't gone anywhere. We are still married. Couples think that because we have this, that we have to live like this. You can learn to have conflict and tension, frustration in your marriage, and still know, but we love each other. We're not going anywhere. I'm not going to quit on you. I'm not leaving. Yes, there's issues in our marriage that are unresolved. There's things going on around us that we didn't fix, that we agreed to disagree for now. There's things that are there, but we are still like this. What happens is with couples, the minute there's an issue, right? The minute there's an issue in the marriage, no sex for you. Or he might say, I'm not talking to you I'm going to give you the cold shoulder. I'm out. I'm going to, shut down the credit card, whatever it is. This is where you need to stay in marriage, even in the midst of a fight, even in the midst of hurt or tension. I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. Now, finally, Solomon shows up. Is he mad? Is he angry? Is he going to punish her? Is he going to withhold from her because she rejected him? Well, let's see. Y'all got 10 more minutes? We need to get through this. he shows up, comes onto the stage, sees her there, and he says, "You are as beautiful as Tirzah. This is a beautiful beach. This is Acapulco. I don't know. This is a beautiful beach. You're as beautiful as Tirzah, my darling, as lovely as Jerusalem, the holy city of Israel. Beautiful as Jerusalem, as awesome as an army with banners." He says, "Turn your eyes from me, for they have confused me." He says, "I don't want to love you because of your sexy eyes, because they woo me, they melt me. Your eyes, I love your eyes. Don't look at me. I want to show you my full forgiveness and restoration, not being manipulated by your beautiful eyes. I want you to know it's because I love you. My heart loves you, not because you're wiggling your hiney and being all sexy towards me or flashing me or whatever. It's not your eyes that make me love you, although I love your eyes, but it's not your eyes or your gazelles or whatever you want to call it. Turn away from me there. I want to just purely love you and restore with you." He goes on to say, "Your hair's like a flock of goats." Watch this. "That have descended down Mount Gilead. Your teeth are like flocks of the ewes which have come up from their washing, all of which bear twins. Not one of them among them have lost their young. Your temples are like slices of pomegranates behind your veils." Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? That little section right there, your hair, your teeth, your temples, your cheeks. Sounds familiar, right? Where did he say that before? On our honeymoon. He's saying, "I love you like the day I met you on our honeymoon, like the day I married you and on our honeymoon. My love for you hasn't changed." That's why I take a couple that's in tension and I take them back to their dating, married life, the early years, to remind them, "Oh, yeah, I love you," when they first met. That's right. "Oh, yeah, I forgot that I love you. We've been in conflict so long. I forgot that I love you. I forgot that you're lovable. I forgot the reasons I fell in love with you. Oh, yeah, now I remember." He goes back to say, "You are to me like you were before you rejected me, before you hurt me. You are to me the way you were before that. We are restored and we are fine. I forgive you. There are 60 queens and 80 concubines and maidens without number, but my dove, my perfect one, is unique. She is her mother's daughter only. She is her mother's only daughter. She is the pure child of the one who bore her." He just said, "You are unique among all the maidens. I choose you." This is the line. Write this down beside right here. I choose you. And I choose you because he could have, at this moment, he could have 10,000, but I choose you. I could have picked any other woman in the world. I choose you. I'm going to just say this. You guys go, "Okay, cool. He's about to say something." Whenever my first wife died of cancer, 6 years of marriage, 2 children, loved her more than I'd ever loved anything on the face of the earth, God took her home with cancer. A few months after she's gone, 4 months after she's gone, I'm 30, 31 years old. All the single ladies that were about my age started bringing casseroles, offering to watch the kids. I started getting lots of attention as a established, financially secure, godly man, single at 31 or 32 years old. Back then, that was old to be single. And there was still a lot of single women that we knew in the town we were in. And they all started bringing me a casserole. And there's the puppy. And come here, buddy. Come here. Come on, June. Anyway, I don't mean to be, it's going to sound arrogant, but I had a lot of choices. And my prayer was, God, I don't want to date. I don't want to be around women dating. I said, bring me a new wife. I want a new wife. I want you to bring me a wife and a mother for my children. And I met Marty. I hadn't dated anybody, didn't do anything. I met Marty, and I told her within 24 hours that I was going to pursue her until I marry her or until she tells me to stop. I'd known her less than 24 hours. We were engaged 3 months later and married 3 months after that. I choose you. I was looking her in the eyes, basically saying within breakfast the next morning after I'd met her the night before. She stayed the night with my sister, and I took her to breakfast. And I was basically saying, there's 1,000 queens out there, but I choose you. You're unique. I choose you. That's marriage. And that's what Solomon is saying here is, I choose you. Verse 10, who is this that grows like the dawn, as beautiful as the full moon, as pure as the sun, as awesome as an army with banners? How does she respond to that? How does Shulamite respond to that? Verse 11, I went down to the orchard, to the nut trees, to see the blossoms of the valley, to see whether the vines had budded or the pomegranates had bloomed. Before I was aware, my soul set me over the chariots of my noble people. My soul is Solomon. Circle the word soul, put next to it Solomon. Before I was, this is where they actually meet together. She goes back, and did Solomon go, well, you've hurt me, so you're going to stay over here. I'm not going to trust you. You have a little lower rank now with me because you're more dangerous, and I can't trust you because you hurt me. Is that how you want to live your life? I can't trust you because you've hurt me. You have to allow for restoration. And Solomon says, and she says, Solomon didn't just receive me back. Solomon didn't just forgive me. Solomon didn't just say that I'm pretty again. He actually set me over the chariots of my noble people. He placed me in a higher position than I was before. He restored me back higher than I was before. Folks, that's forgiveness in marriage. That's restoration in marriage. Stop it with your lack of trust. Stop it with your anger towards your spouse. Just stop it already. Stop being guarded and paying them back and punishing them for the hurtful ways. Just stop it and allow forgiveness to happen and allow your marriage to be restored. How do you restore after a fight? How do you restore after years of hurt? How do I help a couple move forward? Solomon says, why should I gaze at the Shulamite as the dance of two companions? This is a party. He says, we have a party. We've been restored. Now let's celebrate our restoration. Let's celebrate being restored by the dance of two companies, by a party. It's celebration. By the way, last note here, that end of verse 6, end of verse 13 in chapter 6, we see something unique here. He says, why should you gaze at the Shulamite? We see her name for the first time. Do you think that her mama gave birth to her and said, I'm going to name you Shulamite? Let me show you what true restoration looks like. That wasn't her name. We don't know what her name was. This was a title. This was a word used to describe this person, Shulamite. Where did that word come from? How did he get that word? Some of you who have notes from before know. Shulamite. Shalomite is actually how they would pronounce it. Shalomite. You have Bob and Bobette. You have, I don't know. You have I can't think of any good other ones, but say Bob and Bobette. You have Solomon, Shalom, Shalom, right? Shalomite. Shalom, Shulamite. Solomon, Shalom, and Shulamite. Shalom, Shulamite. The word here, Shulamite, is a descriptive word, the female version of Shalom. They are one. Shalom, Shulamite. The two are now one. Mike and Michaela. That's good. Give me some more. Anybody else have other words that would fit that? Mike and Michaela. There you go. Bob and Bobette. Shalom and the Shulamite. This word Shulamite is the female gender of Shalom, of Solomon. He is part of her. She is part of him. She is his. I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. We have matching Twinkie t-shirts, right? That's what this says. Jose and Josie. Jose and Josie, that's right. Henry and Henrietta, thank you. Yeah, I know that's probably in my notes right there. I usually say that. Henry and Henrietta. And they end it with a dance, with a party, with a celebration, restoration. You won't be restored in your marriage unless you choose restoration. You choose to forgive. You choose to try to trust again. You choose to allow restoration. Tomorrow, we start looking at chapter 7. We're almost done, where they deepen the marriage. Then we move to 20 years into marriage, which is going to be a lot of you guys. Tomorrow, we fast forward into way down the road of marriage. We've been looking at dating, romance, honeymoon, and a fight right after that, the beginning, the first 3 years of a marriage. But everybody hits a wall after this. And whenever you hit that wall, the endorphins wear off, the infatuation wears off. What does it look like to take your marriage to a deeper level? That starts tomorrow. Let's pray. Lord, thank you for today, for loving us. Thank you for forgiveness, for your forgiveness. Lord, if I'm worthy of being forgiven, then my spouse is too. If you can forgive me, then I can forgive my spouse. Lord, if you can restore a wretch like me, Lord, I can allow restoration in my marriage. Lord, I pray that you would bless us with healthy marriages, with healed marriages. Lord, I pray for any broken marriage watching right now, hurt marriage. I pray that they would seek restoration. They would seek gentleness and kindness and love, that they would go back and remember where they fell in love and love each other the way they did early on. Thank you for restoring us to heaven someday. For it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen. All right, questions or comments? I'm all in. Glad to visit with you. As much as you'd like, I'll be glad to visit with you. Answer any questions you have. If anybody's got a question, Mr. or Mrs., what God has joined together, let no one separate. Blake, come here. You want to meet my son, Blake? I don't think y'all have ever met Blake. Come here, Blake. You see Dane on here a lot, right? Hold on, Blake. You guys have seen Dane on here with me, my oldest son, a number of times. But my boy Blake, come here, Blake. Have a seat. Come say hi to everybody. This is my youngest son, Mr. Blake. So we got TikTok going on over here. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter here, Instagram here. Mims is on Instagram, by the way, I think.
Nice.
Blake, how'd you sleep last night?
I slept so good. Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome. Shooting pigs yesterday?
No pigs. Hopefully this morning we'll shoot one.
Gonna go look for some pigs this morning. Hi, Blake. Nice to meet you, Blake. Elizabeth says, can y'all see him now? Nikki says, hi, James. Says he's been here before. James is always my keep me straight on if I say something not just right. Peter Falcone. Yeah. Mr. Wade says hi. So Blake and Sierra are here, and June came out, but June wouldn't let me pick her up. Dane, come here, Dano. I guess Dane's going to join too. What are you eating, Dane?
Oats.
Dane's having
Irish
some
oats.
oats. Lean in, say hi. That's my boys right here. This is my lineage, the fruit of my loins.
Hey guys, what's going on?
The fruit of my loins right here, my
Very,
two boys.
very appropriate, huh?
Yeah, they'll love that. All right. Thank you, guys. Y'all have any questions for Dane or Blake? Anybody got any questions? How's Sierra's knee? It was her ankle, her Achilles heel. Give us a Sierra update.
Sierra had surgery. Sierra completely tore her Achilles heel in half playing pickleball. She had surgery about 2 weeks ago, and she is now in a walking boot. She's not walking yet. She probably won't walk for another like month and a half. But she's good. She's really good.
So I got to give you props. I told Mom this last night as we were going to bed and talking about our boys, and we got to see our boys and everything else. I said, I love what I've seen happen in Blake over the last year. And it's really shown itself out in that, Blake, you have served Sierra. He gets up and he does for her, offers to get her food, opens the door. He's having to serve Sierra. And I was telling Mom how proud I was of you, that you've like grown into this servant-hearted man from the little selfish high school kid, snot-nosed, rebellious high school kid into this servant, godly man with Sierra. And I thought that was pretty cool.
That's so true.
Yeah. Really changed a lot. Oh, mom is going to come take a picture, I guess, because she's like, what? Any other questions for Dane or Blake? Achilles heel, she is healing from that.
Mm-hmm.
She's great. Mark says hi over there.
Hello, Mark.
Any other? Like Mr. Personality. Hello, Mark. Dane, you got anything to say this morning? Your mama won the game last night, didn't she?
Not all of them.
What game was it that she won, Jack?
So there's Jackbox games. There's a ton of them, but she's pretty good at them.
Yeah,
So.
let's hear from you.
I don't know. Make time for family. It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
We
just talked about love, sex, and romance in the Song of Solomon.
Yeah.
How do y'all
The
get
next
over a
word's that.
fight? Whenever you have a fight with your spouse, how do y'all restore it? That's what we did today. What's your secret to restoring after a fight?
As much money as I can throw at it.
Come
No,
on,
no, I'm kidding. No, it doesn't. I don't have that answer. I can't do that.
You're too broke to do it that way.
Yeah, my quick answer is, we both process differently,
Right.
So I have to learn to quit pushing, and she has to be okay talking.
Yep.
So usually it's a little bit time apart. For us, it's easy. It's not too long apart, a couple minutes to 30, and then we come back and talk. And a lot of times what I'll do is the next morning, or I don't know when, I'll get her some flowers or something fun.
Debbie says she's not used to seeing you without food. He brought his food.
I did. That's pretty funny.
Every
right?
time he's on, Dane's got food.
Yeah, I should have like a banana.
Dane, I love it though. You
So-
try to get on it and fix it quick.
Yeah, so the other day I did not respond well to Rachel. She had said about a lot of things she was concerned about. She started her job. She was getting overwhelmed with the house and chores. And I did not
Handle that right.
I didn't handle it right. It shouldn't have been a big deal. Should have been very quick and easy. I love you, and I'll do whatever I can. Should have been an easy thing. And so I woke up before work, I went and mowed the lawn. I did the dishes, and
You served.
yeah, and I I get afraid that I'm like,
Everybody's got to go here and just sit
gotcha.
there.
So it was good.
All right, Blake. Thank you,
Uh,
Dane. How do you fix it whenever y'all have had a fight? Or what do you do?
I think it's all about communication.
Talking about it.
Talking about it. Me and Sierra are different in a lot of ways, so trying to find her love languages and just sitting down and talking about it. I think taking time on sometimes on
Being patient.
being patient and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love it. It kind of starts with you being willing to forgive, right? And getting over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good answer, Blake. Communication. All right, we got to go. I know you guys all need to go to church. Dane, thanks for wisdom. Blake, thanks for your wisdom. What is the deal about pastor coming up? Pastoring something. I did raise some good men. God raised some good men, Mama too. Somebody says don't discount doing the dishes.
Dude,
Do some dishes, right?
no.
Amen.
Learn to love doing the dishes. That's the key there.
No.
I don't
Blake, do
care.
you do dishes? You do?
Yeah.
Look,
Oh,
I've got
dude.
some friends and a cousin that have all said this. If you get up before your wife and you do the dishes, she knows those dishes are done before you go to bed, and she will remember that you do them.
Nice.
I'll just say that.
Does it work well whenever you had a fight just to go make out with them? Like, does that fix it
Oh
all?
my gosh, Dad.
No?
Please.
You don't want to talk about making out with your
It
wife?
does help. But good Lord.
Yeah, that's fun. That's what I found. That's what Marty wants
Simple
is for me
answer,
to try to
yes.
make out with her whenever we. No,
So you're joking,
I'm
right?
totally joking. That fixes me. If she wants to come make out with me after I've been mad, then I'm good.
Yeah, you're saying.
How do y'all feel about Mom and I making out?
Yeah,
I
y'all
think
didn't.
it's time
Y'all
to go
didn't.
home.
Yeah, that was not something y'all.
I lost Blake on that one.
Physical affection was not a thing for us with parents.
I lost Blake on that one. That's funny. All right, we got to go. Thanks, Dano.
So good.
All right, keep on keeping on. I love you guys.
Love you too, fam.
All right, Instagram. Bye-bye. I think that's hilarious. You ever want to get your kids to leave you alone, just talk about having sex with their mom? And then doesn't go over too good. All right. That is so funny. TikTok, love you guys. I meant feel good about those fine young men, Pastor Steve. Thanks, Tom. Yep. You guys have a great day. Bye. Come on, TikTok. There we go. $800 folks on TikTok today. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Love you guys. Have a great day. Go to church.